So, um, basically what I'm doing is I'm filming my first ever, I guess, like video diary vlog thing. Just kind of as an update for people who have been wondering what exactly has been going on in my life, because some people saw my posts on Instagram, on Facebook, about me being in the hospital. They were concerned and wanted to know what was going on, but also it's a way for me to share, I guess, my experience with what I have and the lifestyle changes I've had to make within the past couple of days. But essentially what has happened is, prior to going to the hospital, I had issues with breathing, and when I was laying down, it would feel like I couldn't breathe, like I was very short of breath, to the point where I would stay up till 5 or 6 a.m. because I just couldn't sleep, because I just couldn't breathe. And I was having chest pain, so I went to a walk-in clinic to get an x-ray done of my chest and my heart. Leave the walk-in with my friend, and maybe 2 hours later get a call back from the walk-in basically saying you need to come back, we need to talk about your results, which was crazy. And at that point I knew okay, this is definitely something serious. This isn't gonna be great news. I mean, the chances of that are pretty slim. So mentally, going back to the walk-in, I already knew that shit was gonna go down, essentially. And I was like, hey, let's see what the fuck happens, Went back to the walk-in, waited a little bit, saw another doctor, and essentially what the doctor told me was that based on the x-rays, they found that I had an enlarged heart. So my heart, I guess, was larger than it should have been in comparison to a normal heart, which made sense because prior to the walk-in, you could actually see my heartbeat through my chest. If I took my shirt off, I showed my coworkers, for example, and they could see my heart beating in my rib cage or in my chest or whatever. So they were shocked by that, and I was like, that's not normal, I never really noticed it, but whatever. So because of the enlarged heart, that's normally a sign of someone who has gone through cardiac arrest or heart failure. So, when I had initially went to the walk-in, I saw a doctor, but then when I came back, I guess that doctor wasn't available, so I had to see another doctor. So this doctor is reading the first doctor's notes telling me these things, but she herself is in shock because I'm 26, so I'm very young. So to go through something like heart failure at my age isn't a normal thing. And she's like, you need to go to the hospital right now. You need to go to emergency, essentially. Went into emergency, and basically they did a bunch of tests, and they found out that I was not in a great condition. My blood pressure was 210/110 when I got to the hospital, which was amazing. And if you know anything about blood pressure, you know that that is literally you're in danger at that point. Took my blood, did a bunch of tests. Anyway, I knew at that point when I got to the hospital I was gonna be there for a while. Did I know that I was gonna be there for as long as I did? End up staying there? No, not at all. And did I want to be there? Absolutely not. If you've ever been to a hospital, it's not fun. It's super depressing, and I don't know, I think they're not very clean either, hospitals in general, because you're literally taking a bunch of people who are sick and just putting them into a ward or a room. So for me, it's kind of I don't know how effective getting better at a hospital is. Anyway, so they did a bunch of tests. I meet a nurse who tells me that I have something called cardiomyopathy, which essentially means that my blood or my heart is weak and it's unable to pump blood to my vital organs. Because of that, when they got the blood test results back, they also realized that I also underwent kidney failure. They don't know exactly what caused what, so they don't know if it was like the kidney failure that caused the cardiomyopathy or the heart failure or vice versa. I also had really high blood pressure, so keep that in mind. I think what happened was my high blood pressure caused my heart to give out, which caused my kidneys to fail. Because when your heart fails, your body chooses where to pump blood. And because my kidneys are not as vital in comparison to other body parts, I truly believe that my heart stopped pumping blood to my kidneys, and that caused my kidney failure. So that is essentially what has happened. Now that I'm out of the hospital, I'm on medication. So I'm taking medication to bring down my blood pressure, to help widen my blood vessels, but also to help with my heartbeat. So I'm taking a lot of medication. I take medication every 8 hours now. So it's very strange going from someone who didn't take any medication ever to taking medication. I can't eat salt, or like minimal salt. Like I can't have processed food that has had a lot of salt added to it. Just because salt is not great for your body in general, but especially if you've had something like what I've had. I can't really have potassium. Like I have to be aware of foods that have high potassium as well. So like bananas are like pretty much not a thing anymore. And the biggest change, or the hardest change, I think, is, well, there's a couple, but one of the biggest change is I am on a water limitation. So I can only drink 1.5 liters or around 6 cups of water every day. And that's because I'm not exactly sure why. Like the nurse had explained it to me, so don't like quote me, but what I think she was saying was when you go through cardiac arrest, your body has a hard time distinguishing fluid intake, so it starts to store fluid around your chest and your heart, which is also why I was having problems breathing while I was laying down, because that fluid was pressing up against my chest and my heart. So I can only have 1.5 liters of water. I also quit smoking because I used to be a smoker, but then I was like, nah, like I can't do that anymore. So I quit smoking, which was great. And to be honest, like in a lot of ways, it's kind of forced me to reevaluate how I live my life. Because I honestly, let me tell you, when I had thought I was living a healthy lifestyle, I was sorely mistaken, especially after looking at like nutritional info of food that I ate. Like, trust and believe that I was putting in sodium like no other person. I was like shocked by the numbers I was reading, because I honestly thought I was healthy. I was like, I'm eating this rice bowl, it's got some avocado, some chicken, got some salad dressing. Like, no, like not at all healthy in any way, shape, or form, which was like crazy to like kind of reevaluate and look at. So yeah, it's been like a whirlwind, but I'm excited to like, I guess, share my journey. That sounds like so fucking cheesy, but I'm hoping that me going through this experience will help other people who have gone through a similar experience. Just because you'll get to see my, like, the mistakes that I make, the successes that I have, for example. I don't know. We'll see where this goes. I also just got a new camera, so I'm like trying to see how this camera works. But yeah, thanks for watching. And like, if you want to see more, let me know. I'm thinking about making videos about food that I cook, because now I have to cook food. Like, before I could cook food, but it's been interesting trying to cook without salt. But yeah, let me know what you guys want to see. Okay, bye!